All right, good morning, Old School Texas Tech. We're shooting this one a little bit later than usual because our Dallas Fort Worth real estate expert was at the Mavericks game last night. How was it?
It's great, man. They look like a legit team. Hit a lot of three pointers too. A lot.
How did Lively look?
Double digits. I don't remember what his final stat line was, but four guys were in double digits scoring. Klay Thompson, if he plays like this all year, I mean, wow, that's all I'll say. I used to hate him when he played for Golden State.
Yeah, I really think Lively could be a really special player.
Yeah, they look pretty good. They look pretty good. Hopefully
Very
our
good.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What were you saying? Hopefully.
Hopefully the Red Raiders will mimic this week. That's for another video, obviously. But
Well, a little bit this one. All right, so we're going to do our Big 12 predictions for the week. The standings right now, Jordan, we've predicted, both of us have predicted 78 games now, starting to add up. Jordan is 54 and 24, and I am 60 and 18.
it's rigged.
We're not supposed to be talking about that right now. It's what are they saying? All the news is saying the next 10 days has to be peace, love, and understanding, right?
That's not what it is.
Yeah, peace, love, and understanding. We won't get into that. We won't get into that. All right. We've got another slate of games. No games tonight. All the games are being played tomorrow. Let me count: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So I guess that means two teams have buys.
Yep,
I
that sounds
think
about right.
it looks like maybe Arizona State has a buy, and I can't think off the top of my head who has the other buy.
It'll hit.
Maybe Yeah, we'll figure it out in a second. All
That's
right, so the first one listed is TCU, Texas Tech, and Fort Worth. Without getting into too much detail, who do you think's gonna win the game?
well, I have not looked at the spread on this one. I know it's in Fort Worth, but
6.5.
6.5 is it Tech or TCU?
TCU.
Interesting. See, they know the Red Raider road troubles. I think these guys are going to be pissed off after completely not showing up. I was going to use some other choice adjectives, but I'll try to keep it PG here. But what happened on Saturday, I don't think. I think it's not a harbinger of things to come for Tech. So I'm going to say I think Tech squeezes out a victory there.
I'm surprised. I am actually surprised. We have, we don't, we agree not to talk too much. We a little bit, but we agree not to talk too much about this stuff outside of the channel. But I was surprised. I thought you were going to go the other way.
Would
All
have you
right.
would have yesterday, but my Tech homerisms or my homer side is kicking in.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. All right. Interesting game. Because it's BYU at UCF in Orlando. But before you answer, UCF is favored, and I think you saw what they did against they played Iowa State a great game up in Ames, only lost by a field goal. So
That's
what
it.
do you think?
I guess what they're thinking is BYU shouldn't be undefeated right now, and they're playing with house money, and they're gonna collapse at some point. I'd say the trend continues. I would say go B. I think BYU will beat them. I do.
Okay, okay. Another interesting game. Not because they're great teams, but I guess it depends on how you look at the game in Lubbock last week. But Oklahoma State at Baylor.
Oh God, two teams that are. I mean, who's going to show up from one week to the next? Who's the home team in this one?
Baylor.
Well, we've seen sometimes Baylor doesn't seem to play that well at home. It seems like they play better when they're on the road. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State because I think
Okay.
Baylor is going to be. They're going to be puffing their chests out, thinking they're big stuff. and they just got Tech in one of Tech's typical games for the week where they decided not to show up at all. And so they're going to come off that high of, hey, we just waxed a team that was sharing first place in the Big 12. Oklahoma State's going to come in and beat them.
And also, Oklahoma State played BYU really good in Provo.
They did, huh? I remember that. I think that was
Another,
the only ones
go
I
ahead.
picked correct. I think that's one of the only games I picked correctly last week.
Uh, yeah, you got that one right for sure.
I won.
Um, West Virginia at Arizona, similar record to the previous game.
I haven't seen West Virginia play at all this year. I'm just kind of track some of the scores. I think I'm going to go with Arizona on this one.
All right, this one might, well, for me anyway. This one might be one of the easier ones to predict, but I don't know what's going on because I was really surprised by the TCU Utah score last week, but Utah at Houston.
Oh, I mean, Utah's going to win now. That TCU Utah game surprised me as well. That's why part of me yesterday I would have picked TCU to beat Tech, but I have a feeling we're gonna squeeze it out. So that's my take. I've been wrong before though. You have quite the lead on me right now. So
I've been wrong a lot too. I mean, Kansas at Kansas State.
those two hate each other. Kansas State, I think, is gonna roll, probably run for a couple hundred yards. Yeah, I would take Kansas State all day in this one. That one's to me, that's one of the easier ones to pick.
All right, this one I think is going to be a hard game, the one that I'm looking forward to the most. If I can stay up this late because I'm an old man and get up and teach early.
Oh
But
man.
Cincinnati at Colorado,
Ooh, 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 ooh.
both 5-2. They're both playing for bowl eligibility, just like we are.
Didn't Cincinnati come out like week 1 and lost to like Colorado School of Mines or something? And now they've realized
No,
they did,
they
but
played. They played. I think it was like a close game, but they lost to Pittsburgh, and now Pittsburgh's pretty highly ranked.
that's what okay, okay. So Pittsburgh is supposed to. It's been a weird year. You got Pittsburgh ranked, you have the two.
No, you're right. You're right. They played somebody, that I was not familiar with. That's not a powerhouse, and it was a fairly close game early in the season.
I'm going with Colorado on this one. They seem to have found their groove. They seem to be playing very well. And if it's in Boulder,
It is in Boulder.
the altitude may or may not be a little bit of a factor, but I'll take Colorado in this one.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna go with Texas Tech over TCU as well. I'll talk to you. We'll talk more in the other video about
That's
why.
Homer.
And this is actually not a pick of the heart. This is actually a pick of the mind. And I don't know. I Vegas is usually right, but I don't think they're right this time. I really don't. Anyway, and then I'm gonna go with. This is tough. This one. The next one's tough. I'm gonna go with Central Florida. I think BYU's luck's gonna run out at some point. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Central Florida. Um, I'm gonna agree with you and go with Oklahoma State. I don't think Baylor beat Tech. I think Tech beat themselves. Baylor played a good game. They played a consistent game, but this Tech special teams was terrible. I think we lost the turnover margin by 2. I don't really believe Baylor beat Tech. I think Tech beat Tech last week. That's my personal opinion. It was a horrible game. Just an absolute horrible game last week. So I like Oklahoma State. Gundy, went up to BYU and gave them a fight. And I don't think Baylor's anywhere in the hemisphere as good as BYU. Um, West Virginia at Arizona. I feel like West Virginia is collapsing. And so I'm gonna go with Arizona. Of course, I'm gonna pick Utah over Houston, but admittedly, I have not studied those two teams much, other than just the scores. I'm gonna take Kansas State over Kansas. This last one's really tough for me because I really think Cincinnati's a good football team. And I think they're good. I think they're going to beat Colorado in the line of scrimmage. If it were at a neutral site or if it were in Cincinnati, I would pick Cincinnati. But because it's in Boulder, I agree with you on the altitude. I think Coach Sanders. I think he's going to get his team bowl eligible in year two. I'm going to take Colorado. Although I would not be surprised at all if Cincinnati won that game. I think Cincinnati's a good football team.
Agreed. They are a good football team.
All right, very good. Anything else you wanna add?
No, I just need to catch you in the rankings. It's a pride thing. We don't have like $1 million bet or anything. I just
It was
want to.
$1.
Was it
$1.
$1? I
Yeah,
don't know.
$1.
I may not be able to pay my bills if I give up this dollar.
All right. Well, we'll keep track of the record. Please, I should have said this at the beginning, but please subscribe, like, and comment. I appreciate your feedback. I got some feedback on we need to put more tech. We both have some tech gear on today, but we need to put more tech stuff around us, and I agree.
That's
I've actually got my flag laid out on the this is my office and guest bedroom. So I'm gonna figure that out, and then we'll build on this. But to be frank, it would really be helpful if you guys could subscribe, like, and comment, even if it's negative. We appreciate it. Obviously, we prefer constructive criticism, but if you want to tell us to f off, that's fine too. And neither of us are particularly thin-skinned, especially when it comes to tech football. When you've been a Red Raider fan for as long as we have, I mean, we've pretty much heard it all, right?
Yeah, we have. We've always, yeah, we've been a tortured fan base in my 20 some odd years of following this team. That's for sure.
But some great moments too,
Sure.
definitely. All right. Anything else you want to add before we call it a wrap?
No, I just hope we'll be 6-2 tomorrow. That's for another video.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We will see you next week.